Okay, we're going to get started here. And for those of you guys can see me at home, got the monitor kind of in my face. But we're going to pull up the agenda like I always do every week. I want to show you guys what we went through and what we'll be covering today.
One thing I do want you guys to notice that I really like is the revamped 3x3 system presentation here. If you guys ever wanted to recruit anybody, I think this is a fantastic PowerPoint, Vimeo. They put it up here. You can forward that over. But more importantly, this PowerPoint, along with the business plan, these two alone, if you wanted to have somebody say, hey, you know what, send me something, I think this is very powerful. And I wanted to do that, kind of show you guys this to help increase your production. It actually ties into the last module where we can increase production. But this is something that I do want to point out. I asked Philip where was it. It's actually on the back office. Once this pulls up, I'll kind of go through it for a little bit. But the reason I put that up is to show you the potential and the direction that we're taking the mortgage division. And we're going to have all the resources for you. So going back to tonight's
agenda, we will be
working on, what we're talking about tonight's topic is hire an assistant. And the way we worked up for Module 1 is kind of the fundamental. We work to Module 2 is after you close the deal, how do you maintain that relationship and keep getting repeat business from that client, along with going out there and generating new business from referral partner. Typically, your number one target for referral would be naturally real estate agent. And that's who you should always have as one of your primary source of referrals. Other ways that we mentioned about were networking meetings, going to referrals office, attorneys, CPAs, stuff like that. So we covered that on how to essentially grow your business or sustain your business. That's Module 2. Now we're in Module 3, which takes us to a whole new level. You've already got your base, you've been doing this for a while, and now how do you duplicate yourself and without incurring the expense of actually hiring somebody and training them. And if you ever work for corporate America or you ever hired anybody, you know there's a vamping up period of training. So they come in there, even though they're knowledgeable in what they're doing, they don't do it quite the way you do it. So we take that out of that hassle out for you. We'll train them. We've already got somebody who knows the system. You're hiring somebody that's top notch, and that's what we're introducing today. Is not necessarily the assistant that you get from maybe a temp agency or one of those contracted processing or contracted TC service. These people will do it exactly the way that we do it here at ERS. It's in-house. Okay, so we're talking about how the ERS transaction coordinator, what do they do, along with what should you be doing with them on a weekly basis, how to hold these pipeline meetings, how you do those things. Loan product specialist is something that I haven't touched over, but I'll kind of give you a gist, is that if you have a deal that you think is dead, you couldn't move forward with it, you give it to our loan product specialist. If they resurrect it, they split the commission with you. It was a dead deal to you anyway. You were getting zero on that deal. So we're going to say, it's basically a second look type of department that we can do for you. And graphic designing service for somebody who wants to step up their marketing campaign and do that. So Module 3 takes it to above, and if you kind of look at the way we split it up, we kind of recommended each module for what type. This one is for seasoned mortgage consultant, along with new loan officer. The technical term is MLO, which is mortgage loan originator. So I'll be calling it LO. Everything in here you'll see kind of the correct term, MLO. So we'll cover kind of, and that's why I said it's not going to be quite the 2 hours tonight. I think we're just going to cover about an hour on the roles. But I do want to point out a few things that we put into place for you guys. You guys should take advantage of this. Even though the Tuesday class is going to be trickling down, because I probably will pick a few that we want to redo for the video-wise. And then I'll consider redoing the whole series again for the Module 1. Until then, the only thing that we're going to have is every week I'm going to give training on product. So what I've done over the last 8 training sessions along with today was to take somebody from origination to closing the file to building a sustainable business to growing and expanding your business by hiring additional help. What you're lacking in all that training is what's the difference between a conventional loan, FHA loan, what other niche product. You're missing all those underwriting guidelines, the parameters to get the loan closed. So that's what we do every week. You're gonna, if you have certain requests, let me know. The only way I'm gonna know is if you email me, call me, text me, one of those. But we do have a list of a program, and I'll show it to you towards the end just to kind of get you guys thinking on are these the program. So last week we had Michigan Mutual come on and did a FHA 203K loan program, which is a renovation loan, maybe something to buy like a fixer-upper and a dilapidated home or investment home. So that's what they're talking about. This week we have, or actually next week I have Calyx Point doing a loan origination, which is what you guys use for loan origination software. They'll talk about the upcoming January 10, 2004 change on the qualified mortgage parameters and how it affects the software itself. So with a push of a button, with what you're currently doing right now, you push that button, it'll check for the qualification for qualified mortgage. And what does that mean? So that's covered. I sent you guys out a link today. Register for it. The seat is limited. I would recommend all you guys check your email. It was sent roughly between 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, depending on what pecking order that mass email got to you by. So check that email, sign up for it. There's 2 dates. I believe one's on the 15th at 11 a.m. and then one's on the 17th. That's a Tuesday the 15th, and then 17th, the Thursday, is 8 a.m. for those early birds, because they do it on Central Time. So sign up for those. I might have somebody coming on Thursday to do another program they haven't confirmed. That's why I said it's tentatively scheduled, but these are the preferred time that if you guys ever wanted to maybe schedule your calendar, choose Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and we kind of tie it close to the mortgage training class along with the mastermind meeting for those. So make sure that you, if you want those product training, this is I kind of set one in the evening, one in the kind of late morning, and one in the early afternoon. That was kind of the idea on different days. But if those time doesn't work for most people, and I see that people prefer the other time, that was just my suggestion. You guys want something else, let me know. And then this one is where the next module, number 11, is what I'm going to do next. The only thing that we need to finalize is finalize the actual comp plan, along with formalizing it and having all of the loan officer re-sign the new compensation plan. So until we finalize that, I'm not going to cover this because I just want to do it once. I don't have to record it again if the comp plan changes again. So this will be announced, but this is what we'll be talking about, and I want to make sure that we cover this here. This here is the Analyzing Self-Employed Income Tax Return. Again, I mentioned it before, it's a very expensive class if you ever paid on your own. It's anywhere from $500 to $1,000 just to learn this. We're going to have a mortgage insurance company, which are typical for them to teach this class. It's a value for lenders. They do it for the lenders. We partner with one of our approved lenders, and they do it for us for free. So I'm almost certain that when we host this class, this whole classroom will be full, along with the webinar be full, because it's such a valuable and a powerful tool for you guys to learn. And everybody should be able to learn, even if you've taken this a year ago. Tax law change every year, so you want to get that as every chance you get. Okay. So today we'll cover that. I'm going to check the question, see if there's anything that came up. You kind of mentioned the Thursday meeting at 3:30. Sure. On Thursday, every Thursday, I've been kind of holding off on it, quite honestly. I haven't been promoting it, but I will. I got I have three assistants. One of them was on maternity leave, and I got others in the other office. But I moved one over here to help me a little bit more. And in November, Robert's going to assign another person in the mortgage division. And I've been waiting for the assistant before I kind of roll it out in full force, because it's a lot to be done administrative-wise, paper-wise, and strategy-wise. So I've been holding off on this, but every week on Thursday, we've been doing this since mid-August. It's called the Mortgage Mastermind Meeting. I want to encourage everybody to be there. I haven't been sending out any blasts. I haven't been announcing it. I kept it small on purpose, because once everybody comes here everybody's going to have ideas, and everybody's going to want me to kind of follow through with those ideas. That means more on my plate. So on purpose, I kind of held back on that. But I'm ready to get a new suggestion, see if people are willing to help out grow the mortgage division. Tell us, give us your feedback. The whole idea behind the Mortgage Mastermind meeting is an open forum and a brainstorming discussion. That's all you guys really need to know, is that come here with your question, come here with any ideas, any suggestions, and it's just open. It's a roundtable discussion. We all sit around. I usually give an update on what I'm doing, and I usually kind of say, based upon last week, you guys mentioned this is what I've done so far. I really encourage everybody to start coming on those Thursday, because it's interaction, whereas these classes, you guys are kind of getting the classroom style, whereas on those Thursday meeting, we are interacting and we are brainstorming together. So please come there, and it's 3:30 to 5. If you are an owner, it rolls right into the owners meeting from 5 to 6, then 6 to 7 for the leaders that are team builders. So if you don't go to the owners meeting, you can go to, take a break for an hour, come back for the leadership meeting. Then any new recruit, come in and invite them at 7 to 8:30. You have the whole new hire orientation, the presentation that talks about the 3x3, the $1 million business plan, everything else. So build your team. And know that right now we've got the training infrastructure, what you guys been seeing. You can direct them. There's actually a system, a checklist, everything that's in place. So in order for you to get to the point where you're going to hire these assistants, you need to start building a team too, and that's where we're going to develop that. Okay. So I'm glad, Glenn, you brought that up. I'm going to check one more time, see if there's anything else. All right. So let me pull up. What we're going to talk about here is, first of all, we're going to start with the ERS training transaction coordinator. Throughout this whole training module, you guys heard this many times, but because these are broken out into session, I'm going to treat it as if this is the only video that they're going to watch. So I'm going to kind of be redundant on a few things, but we're going to bring up the TC transaction coordinator agreement again for you guys to watch, okay, to take a look at. While I'm pulling this up, does anybody have any suggestion, questions here in the live classroom? Do you guys want to talk about, meet your address? This is going to be a pretty short one. I'm just covering not much information. So if you have anything, just shout it out. That goes for those at home too. Oh yes, we'll talk about mentorship. Actually, I should have added that too. So on the transaction coordinator, this is the one that this is essentially what a loan officer does, 1 through 15. And then you have, and again, I think I have the old one. Let me pull up the new one. So the new one, I'm having central processing add a little date here, so you guys know that if you're receiving the newest one. They haven't added yet. But currently the way I tell is, you see this little box here? It's kind of gray. That's how I know it's the most recent one. If you don't have this little box around it, you might have an outdated version. But for the TC, the idea is this. You're a loan officer and you're a processor. Your typical arrangement in any mortgage company is you have a processor and you are the loan officer. You generate the lead. You gather all the documentation in order to take the loan application. Once you have the loan application, you pull the credit, you qualify the client. And then we do a little different. We kind of ask them first, and then we take the loan application and we prepare disclosure. We would pre-approve them, send out the letter, get all the missing items, lock the rate, and then review the estimated HUD, which is the settlement statement, breaking down the fees, all the details of the transaction with the borrower. We clear any prior to funding condition, and then we close out the file. During that process between 1 through 11, there are these other things that happens too, where we update all parties involved, including real estate agent, the real estate agent, meaning the buyer, the seller's agent, any home builders, any borrowers, any co-borrowers. We update all the people that are on our side that are non-third party. And when I say third party, I refer to appraisal management company, the lender, the escrow, the title, the pest inspection, the home inspector. Those are third party that the processor normally communicate with. We deal with on the borrower side. And then we would offer any loan option, we would lock the rate, and then we schedule the signing with the borrower. What the TC was initially designed to do was to have a producing loan officer that keep getting business and have less and less time to be in the office to do these administrative because they're so good at generating new leads. That's the whole purpose of transaction coordinating. However, until we get everybody up to speed and get qualified, we're implementing this to help out with the disclosure and the loan option part. Those two, it takes many, many months, if not years, for you to master. But during that time, we don't want you to stumble and us kind of be liable for the erroneous information that flies out there. So we put this in place and to help give you guys, get you past that point. So it's two-way, and we found out it's very useful. And the TC service, if you look at this, the loan officer will always do what is bolded, underlined, and asterisk. So even if you hired the TC will never generate the lead. You would have to go out and market yourself and work your sphere of influence, your referral partners. They will never send out a pre-approval letter. They will help you run DU, which is desktop originator DO, or desktop underwriter for the lender's sake. So they will help you run it, get it pre-approved, but they won't issue that pre-approval letter because it has your name on it. You would do that. They will never lock in the rate. However, if you look down here, you see they will assist you in locking the rate. They will never make that judgment call when to lock in that rate. You would have to tell them, hey, based upon my instruction, lock in the rate. They'll do that for you. As far as reviewing the HUD with the borrower, they will never talk to the borrower and explain the fees, why we're charging this, why we selected this rate. That's your conversation with your borrower. So the TC can do a lot, but there's certain things that they cannot do, such as license activity. There's a fine line between completing and building a loan application. We put complete is when the loan officer actually takes the loan application in front of the client. We call built the loan application because the borrower is collecting documentation that can be used to complete the loan application. So the TC will only build the loan application. If there's any missing information, it'll kick back to the loan officer to get it from the borrower. Okay? So that TC service is, in a sense, they'll do it for you. They won't teach you how to do any of this. And that's where this will help you free up your administrative time, and you can just pay a flat fee for the standard of 1 through 11, up to $495. Now, a lot of people will say, and really it's what area you're in. What is your average loan amount? If your average loan amount is like let's say $500,000, $495 is only 0.1% of that. So it makes sense. It's like 10 basis points, right? Whereas if you're in a low loan amount, you're at $100,000. Now that's at 50 basis point to you. It's 5 times as much. So you kind of just got to look at it in a way where does it make sense or not. And unfortunately, on the low loan amount, you might be able to help somebody learn locally, but you're going to fall into that trap of training them only to come find out they might not be qualified to do and help you out. We find that a lot, and you'll probably have a high conversion rate of training these people. So this is the benefit that we provide within ERS. They can do that for you. I'm going to take it one step further for you guys, is that we'll talk about the mentorship. The mentorship program is for anybody that, because when you do this, it only starts when you get a lead and they start chasing down the documentation, they get all that information. They don't teach you anything. The TC just said, okay, you got a new lead, give me a name, number, and I'll chase down everything. I'll gather all the documentation. Once I have it, I will build your loan application. I'll run it through DO, and then I'll send out a needs list to the borrower if we're missing anything else. They do all that. They don't teach you how to do it. Whereas a mentor will do that, hold your hand, show you step by step, and say why it didn't work this way, why it did. And that fee is a little bit higher because of the one-on-one time and attention that you'll get. So the mentorship is a 50-50 split between you and the mentor. However, with the new comp structure, we are going to change it. But for now, for those who are watching this video, it's a 50-50 split. Going forward, just in case we play this later on, the way it's going to work is in order to take mentorship, you have to be under the DBO umbrella. We have 2 companies. ERS nationwide is under DBO, which stands for Department of Business Oversight, And that, in order to be under there, you only need your NMLS license. You don't need your real estate license. If you have your real estate and your NMLS, only then can you move under the Bureau of Real Estate, which used to be called the Department of Real Estate. So when you have that, you have a choice. If you do go over there, what opens up to you is a whole lot of more lenders. A lot more lenders will do business under the BRE and less lender under DBO. And then also the comp plan is more competitive, or not more competitive. What I mean is that the lender paid is lower. We will be very competitive price for the consumer at 150 basis point. What that means is that there's 75 basis point less than the DBO. So when there's less margin, mentorship is not offered under the BRE. So if you do have your real estate license and the MLS, you do want to do mentorship, you have to switch over to the DBO. And it's just because mathematically there's not enough to pay for the mentorship. Okay? So the benefit with the DBO is you do have the mentorship program that will walk you through it. If you're new, most likely you're going to start under DBO. Even if you're a seasoned vet that's been out of the lending business for about 6 months, so much have changed, or even if you're just new to ERS, you might want to take advantage of this. You can always switch over if you have your real estate license. Okay? So once you're under the DBO, you do have that choice for the mentorship. We can do that. And for those that are qualified to be a mentor or who was interested in doing a mentorship, they just got to follow the certain outline and system that we have. Come see me. It does reward very well. The benefit that it does is to generate overall revenue. It makes sure that our agents are trained and knowledgeable, and along with rewarding the people that are being paid. If you want to be a mentor, you get 75 basis point for helping somebody out. So if you think about it, every $100,000 you get $750. So if you do a $300,000 loan amount, it actually pays to be a mentor. Okay, so work hard for that. Learn that. And that's another way that ERS can generate in-house lead for you guys, because we're always going to bring in, and the way you got to look at the difference between ERS is that we are a recruiting machine. We recruit people, we get them licensed, we get them producing. So you will always have the continuous flow of leads. Make sure you tap into it by working up to your next promotion. Get your own deal, produce that, recruit your team, and then work towards being a mentor. I really need qualified mentors. So if you have somebody that might have been a loan officer, that's currently a loan officer, that's top producing, they said, what can the ERS do for me? One is the mentorship program, along with just working the in-house account through life insurance agent and real estate agent too. So the mentorship, I'm really looking for those who do have friends or somebody that they know, and you bring them in. You know that when you bring them in, you get a part of every production that they do. So there's an incentive for you just to recruit them too. So if you do, the qualification for a mentor would be for them to have at least be a top producing loan officer within the last 12 months. They need to show me an estimated HUD, which is when every time you close this transaction, it gives you a final HUD. I need the final HUD, along with page 4 of that loan application that ties with that HUD, to show me that their name was actually on that loan application. Show me all of the estimated HUD, along with the loan application, page 4, for the last 12 months. Total all that amount together for me, and then you would get the amount. What I'm looking for is at least a $10 million volume. That's roughly under $1 million per month. If they can do that and they sustain that, they are a good producing a loan officer that can then be eligible to be certified as one of the mentor. That goes the same with account executive. Account executive, for those that are interested in that too, is that you can go and be assigned a territory. So say, for example, there's Placer County. That's a good example. There's Rockland, there's Roseville, there's Folsom. If you wanted to be assigned that area, we would dedicate that and put you on the roster. Any real estate agent, any life insurance agent, say, hey, I need some help on these deals, you would get those leads and just service the account. And then it's the same payout over there too. Okay? So keep an eye out for that, and just keep in mind that if you do bring those people in, you get a part of all the production they make, okay, on the team building side. So there is an incentive for everybody to do that. So mentorship, if you guys need hands-on training, the only one right now that we have is me. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully I can train some people to do that. But we need to make sure that we don't get the blind leading the blind, if you know what I mean. Meaning we don't want to teach everybody to do it the wrong way. We want to make sure they do it right the first time. Okay, so TC, before I lead into the other thing, I want to stop for a moment, check the question. Do you guys, I mean, those here in the class, I know you've heard it many times. I get you. I think you guys get it. But let me check to see if they have any question here. How do we find fee schedule for title fees and escrow fee? That should be within Calyx Point. So I will cover that. I'll go back. Let me finish the thought. I'll come back to that. Where are we with the approved marketing materials? We just signed a marketing agreement last week. My assistant that came back from maternity leave a couple weeks ago, she is assigned to create a new flyer every week. And I'll kind of go into that marketing in a second here. Can we get all videos on YouTube now? You can get the video from 1 through 5. So yes. And I think Reza, I think it's Riza, if you go to your YouTube, and I'm going to show it to everybody here. If you guys go to youtube.com, in there, type in Elite Realty Training. You'll see this eagle. I need you to hit subscribe. And I'm using this account so it hasn't been subscribed. So I'm hit subscribe. Once you hit subscribe, you'll see this bar change. Once it changes, go to manage subscription. There's an option that said email me about new uploads. You need to check that. If you don't check that, you're not going to be notified when your new video has been uploaded. So if you happen to not check that, you just got to physically go to the YouTube, sign in, and figure out what's been updated. So once you subscribe, it'll be right here. You click here, and it's kind of, I don't know if you can do anything with this, Jacob. Can you rearrange the order?
I'll try.
Okay, so 1 is actually on the bottom, and then it goes sequentially 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this was the most hold up. This was the one that had all the information, and we just released that today. This has been up here since last week, I believe, 3, 4, and 5. And then 6 and 7 would be available by next Monday, if you guys check that out, okay? So everything is on there now. Once we have the back office up and running, and this will no longer be on the YouTube. It'll be private, and they would have to have an actual login to do that. Because all this stuff here, not necessarily proprietary, but it's just different, the way that we do things versus the other company. Okay. All right. So let's go, and I'll circle back to the title fees and escrow fee, and then we'll talk about the marketing material. On the processor, in case you guys are curious, this is what they do, and this is paid by the borrower. It is not taken out of the loan officer commission or anything like that, so don't worry about this. If you want to process yourself, just understand that this fee is still collected. You just basically work to pay somebody else. Okay, so take advantage of it. Utilize the team, work in a team environment. If you're working with a real estate agent, some people like it, some people don't. But you know, for the most part, people prefer a team environment. That way, if you're not available, they always have somebody to fall back on. So your team consists of these people. It is you, yourself, with the loan officer. You have your sales assistant, which is we call a transaction coordinator should you decide to hire one. Your loan processor is included on every single file. Now, whether you process yourself or not, they're available for you. That is your team, along with your branch manager. So your branch manager is there to support you. So you have a team of at least 4, along with any other colleagues that you decide to do joint marketing campaign with. You might have a loan officer too. So just understand that in this team setting, you have at least 4 at your disposal. Okay. And down here, if you do wanted to work with a mentor. Here, this form is for mentor. If you want to split it, you just need to tell us the split, the percentage, whatever you're splitting with that mentor. We call it basis point, so there's no confusion. So make sure that if you want to use percentage, put it there, who your mentor is. That way we need to send a file when it comes to payday. There's no fussing about what the split was. We always want to take care of this up front. Same thing is if you hired a TC, The way you want to do is make sure that you put your full name here, put your NMLS license number. We got to check this, make sure that you're licensed in order to get paid, and if you're under the BRE or the DBO. This is always should be checked for your fee, because this is a standard if you want to take it. If you don't want to, you shouldn't be filling this out in the first place. Okay, this is only if you want the TC service or the mentorship service. Processing is already included in there. You'll sign this here, date it, and once the central processing review it, they'll assign you a transaction coordinator, and then we'll approve it here. So this is the form. It'll be on the back office once we get it up and running. I'm talking to Alex, the programmer for the software, and we'll get it. And I don't have a timeline yet, but we're hoping to get it up maybe within 2 to 3 weeks. And this is the form that you guys, if you guys want to use that there. And we go back to our loan product specialist here. Actually, let me finish on the transaction coordinator. On this transaction coordinator, on a regular basis, on an easier to see type of, so I'll update this with current titles and current names. What this list is going to show you is who does what in the whole process. If you have your team, we call it JMC, Junior Mortgage Consultant. We call it MC for Mortgage Consultant, and then we also call AA for Administrative Assistant, and then LP for Loan Processor, JLP for Junior Loan Processor. Our ideal team consists of 5. It'll be your Administrative Assistant. It'll be your junior loan processor, but for your sake is the transaction coordinator, your MC, which is you. Then you have your senior loan processor and your junior loan processor. That's our ideal team. And when you have that many people, you're closing 15, 25 loans a month. You're kicking butt at that point. You have that many people to do that. Okay. So on this is where we do this, and I'll give you an idea. This is just kind of a suggestion. You don't have to do all this stuff here, but it give you an idea of what you need to do on how to generate. You got to generate leads through these things, and we do provide for marketing material. There is in-house lead. I'm looking for anybody who is interested in getting and working in-house leads. As soon as we turn on the faucet, meaning that we post these like SEO, these ads online, we start getting calls. I need somebody that's willing to take those leads. You can be at home, you can be whatever. We have this thing, it's on queue. You log in, you tell me that you're on, I'll send you the leads over there. So we will be, if you guys are interested, I just need to make sure that you pass at least the first 4 video, take the quiz, understand the process, and the way it works is basically inbound lead generation. They will transfer the call, you take the lead, you know how to work the 5 C's, fill out the questionnaires, and there's a little bit more training involved if you do want to take the in-house leads. Okay, so that's available for you guys too, if you guys want to take advantage of that. And the way we do it is we just take 50 basis point from whatever your comp plan is to cover that the in-house leads. Okay, and it mostly makes sense when you're on the DBO, because DBO goes from 75, 100, 125, 150, 175. Okay, so depending on what you're at, 50 basis point, you still make money off that at that point. Okay, so take a look at the in-house. Contact me if you're interested in that. We haven't turned it on because I need to start. And once it comes in fast. And especially what we use is the listing within all of ERS branches, and we promote it as a tangible thing that people want to purchase. Once they purchase, we ask them, are they qualified? They're not. We send them through the system. You pre-approve them. And if it's a particular property, we send it back to the agent as a qualified buyer. Okay? And then when you give it to the agent, we actually, for the marketing team, we split the referral with them. But you get the deal. And if you happen to be an agent, you want to work that deal too, and it's not, the lead was not generated by a particular property, then it can go to you. So a lot of these people will reply to not a specific property, but actually just in general. So we'll have real estate leads along with in-house mortgage leads. And who knows how we're going to twist it, but we'll probably incorporate. Are you currently covered with life insurance? You're currently covered. So we'll kind of incorporate and we'll generate leads for the insurance department too. So these things, there's a lot of ways we're going to generate those leads in there. And for marketing material, The newsletter, we're getting it reformatted. We have the format, but as far as the layout, we're working on that through that. Everything should be coming out kind of towards the end of October for all the marketing stuff. So we'll send those out for you guys too, along with the loan program, the week that we talk about.
So what you want to do on a type of schedule is, if you generate a lead, no matter how you do it, you go to a referral partner, you got your buddy calling you and say, hey, I'm interested in getting a loan. You can just get their name, number, and if you want to, tell them to get the CIA, but you don't have to. You just get the idea of saying, hey, what are you trying to do? Okay, great. I'll have my transaction coordinator call you, or you call your assistant, call you, and then we'll get started. So they'll send out a needs list, like a checklist of items they'll need to get, and we call it a scheduling of IC. So the schedule IC is an initial consultation. If we get, let's say, these leads that comes in and you're not in the office, the assistant can schedule an appointment for you, either in the office over the phone or at another location for you. The TC can do all this stuff too, which is run the ABM, the property profile, loan lookup, the owner search, the tools that we talked about originally, so they can run those for you. And you need that if you're doing the refinance to make sure that there's enough equity and that you can even do the loan, or even a purchase if the value is going to be sustainable to make sure that we close. They can do TCA report, total cost analysis, which is the mortgage coach edge that we went over in module 2. They can provide, and then you would do the consultation, based upon the report. They can do the IFW, the initial fee worksheet, which is the loan option and breakdown of the fees for you. They can do the 5C letters, the bar loan scenario, any letter
of explanation for derogatory large deposit increase. They can do all that for you. And then they can run DO for purchases. And even for refi, we typically don't run any DO for refinance because you can generally tell if it can get approved or not. But if it's kind of iffy with a large amount of collection judgment or borderline credit score, then you can run it. We only run the DO, we always run it for pre-approval for purchase. Make sure that they are truly approved before they go out and spend months looking for homes and all this stuff. Okay. And then also HARP loans, we generally run the DO. And then IFW, they can send it with an updated needs list. They'll follow up with the needs list. This is all your TC here. Along with, they'll create the loan submission form for you, which we will have on the server, but on, let me see here, where is my, let me pull up, I'm going to just show you guys the loan submission form. This here is, what you need in order to fill it out here, and they can kind of get all this and they can stack it for you. Okay. Then there's also the other form, which is the submission where they'll fill out what type of loan you want and so forth. So they'll fill this all out for you. Okay. And then once they submit it, or once they do that, they'll create the disclosure packet for you. They'll send it out to the borrower, follow up with them, make sure all the signatures filled out, any missing information that weren't able to generate from their CIA, credit, income, and asset documentation, are completed on the loan application. Once they receive it, they will. We set it up with a rate monitor. The rate monitor is something I haven't really covered, but it's included in your loan shifter. What we do is as soon as we get a signed disclosure, meaning they've committed, they signed that loan application, they signed the disclosure, right now we just need to watch the market. Remember we talked about rate watch, how the market goes up, goes down. Loan Shifter has a software where every morning you can send it out to the borrower for their specific loan situation and tell them what the rate is. So you no longer will get that call, what's my rate today, what's my rate today, what's my rate today. It will be sent out every day for them to see their particular loan, not the market going rate, their specific rate with their specific score, their specific loan amount, their specific loan program. So this is something that you guys should do, and they can do it for you too. Package it for submission, and then they will send it to the processor. Processor will submit it to the loan. They get the approval, they order the appraisal, they clear the prior to funding condition. We obtain the estimated HUD for you to review with the borrower, and then once we talk to the borrower, we schedule the signing appointment. And then, of course, funding and close out the file. A lot of these training, if you guys wanted to learn kind of the whole breakdown of what to do for each step, who to go to for help, I'll update these names on here for you guys, because not everybody here is at the corporate. I have someone at the other branch too. So on these here, if you wanted to learn more about this, you can go to the certain people, and they can teach you a little bit more if they have time, more of a courtesy. But if not, the mentor will be able to do that. So we have very specific steps for you to grow, develop, and learn all these steps. And if not, you say, I'm not the type to learn, I don't care how it's done, I just want to get it done, sign up for TC. TC do it all for you. Okay? So you have two types. You can either take the TC, they'll get it done for you, or you can do the mentorship where you can learn how to do it. And I'm the type that I always like to learn. I don't want to depend upon my TC on a 3-day holiday weekend and my bar sitting there waiting for disclosure. I like to be able to do it for myself. Not that I want to do it, but I want to be able to when that time comes. Okay? So there's all these training, depending on what you have, we'll kind of update this for you and to give you step by step on who to get the training from. Okay? And there's a lot more on that. We can cover all this stuff here. Do you guys have any question regarding kind of the flow, when to kind of pass it back and forth? Because even though I can show you that they will, a person should be doing this, should be doing that. I think the confusion is, when do you pass the baton back and forth between each other? And that's kind of where we work that flow out. Now it's your turn, now it's back to me, now it's you. So you guys get a better understanding of that. And in addition to this, you should always schedule every week, like a block out. Now the TC, if you hire a TC and you have a large pipeline, depending on your pipeline, you should schedule anywhere from a 5-minute to a 15-minute, no more than 15-minute, to go over your pipeline once a week with your loan processor, your TC, and just say, hey, here's all the files. Where are we with this? Where are we with that? The first one's going to be kind of a little rough because you're trying to get to know each other. And then after that, it might be just an email. Hey, here's the update on this. And then you kind of send it back. But have some type of communication regarding your entire pipeline, whether active, about to be submitted, or about to close. Wherever they are, you need to know and have a pulse on every phase of the loan stages. So I'm going to check the question again. Nope, there's no question. Okay. All right, and then here we're going to cover the loan product specialist. And when I talk about the loan product specialist, is that you can hire our loan product specialist. That include me and the senior loan processor for now. Everything I'm showing you is that infrastructure for me to get eligible people, qualified people to do it full time. Right now, until we build up the volume on the central processing throughout the ERS, we need to rely upon the resources we have, which would be me and the senior loan processor. Senior loan processor has over 10-year experience, very knowledgeable, works with guidelines day in, day out. I actually check in with the loan processor to see if this loan will work. I know the business, I know the loan program, I know it can fit, but she knows the details on, oh, the guideline changed today, it changed yesterday, the month before. So what that does for you is that if you ever have a loan scenario that's tough, she doesn't mind answering it. So if you say, hey, I got a quick question, it's a minute and doesn't waste your time, say, go to this lender. Once you say go to this lender, you can run it through the account executive. The account executive can direct you and tell you, hey, we can do this, we can do that. So you don't have to rely upon the loan product specialist. You can do this all by yourself. You don't need to rely on that. What we're offering is that if you choose not to do it yourself, so just like me, I mean, I know how to change the oil in my car, but do I choose to, or do I go down Jiffy Lube? I choose to go Jiffy Lube. It's just because maybe my time is not, it'll probably take me longer than that other person, whereas the same amount of time, I can probably do something else where it can generate this more income that way. So the way you look at it is, do you want to spend the 2 to 3 days that it would normally take somebody to find a program that they're not familiar with and call a bunch of account executive, or do you just want to go to a loan product specialist and say, hey, would you mind taking a look at this whole file and tell me where I can go with this? And that's what we would offer to you if you want to do the loan product specialist. Okay. Now that form that you would do, if you fill out for the loan product specialist, let me pull it up for you. I'll do the print version so it's just easier to see. So on this form, you just fill out certain information for us to conduct the search for you. You kind of fill out the basic, the score, what job, and information. So it's like a mini loan application, but more on the back end with more technical underwriting. So on here, what we'll do is we'll just ask, for, what type of property, everything here, the rent, the interest rate. We kind of look at the whole thing. What are they looking for? And let me pull up another one. So if you fill this out and you say, hey, I'm having trouble here, based upon this and the CIA that you provide for us, we'll be able to go out and search for the loan program for you. Okay. So this loan product specialist just kind of is just kind of shopping for the loan program for you. And I would probably suggest that if you have a program that you sort of know that there is, just do it yourself. Just call the process. The process would be more than happy to help you out. But it's the tough one that you know that is going to take a lot more digging into. And the loan product specialist doesn't have to take on your file. They can say no. It's just there's probably nothing there. But that you can look on by yourself too. So for the loan product specialist, they just take a percentage of that. And the way that we're looking at it is almost like the mentorship, because if it's a program that you don't know, and you're going to probably need some hand-holding on that, then it's the same split. To you, it's a dead deal. It's new income that would have been lost that should you have not submitted to the loan product specialist anyways. Okay? So that's kind of what we offer here. And again, these are all optional, guys. We just figure out a way where it makes sense for everybody involved to have an incentive to do that. Okay? And then as far as the graphic designing service, I wanted to, one other thing about the loan product specialist I want to show you is this. I'm going to shut it down here. So I'm going to show you how we would do it, and this is where we would encourage you guys to do it too, is that if we ever run into that, we take your form. It's just a very simple thing, but we have it very systemized on that. So we do, let me just make sure. So if we did, what we do is we send out this loan scenario to loan officer. So whenever we do, let me look here. So for example here, let's say we have a deal. We'll send it out. This one doesn't look right, but it'll form out. We'll send it out. Hey, we got a single-family resident, primary resident, purchase Stockton, credit score, doc type, property purchase, loan to value, the loan amount. This one didn't format right for some reason. But what we're looking for, preferably FHA or any other eligible program. Their goal is to purchase a home in Stockton, California. The borrower has no Social Security number, but does file taxes with his taxpayer identification number. Basically, we're wording it, there is undocumented immigrants that are here, and it was brought to our attention
that although they do not have a Social Security number,
we do have verifiable income such as 2-year tax return, validated 4506T, W-2 pay stub reflecting the tax identification number. There's a lender that has currently approved this loan, and we were wondering if you have such a loan program for borrow with a T&I number only. The bank is called Community Trust, a division of Self-Help Credit Union located in Modesto, California. They require a minimum of 10% down, but the borrower would like to put 5% or less down. So there's these weird programs that we know about, but we just want to shoot it out to see if somebody else has better parameters. Okay? Believe it or not, you don't need a Social Security number in order to do the loan. It just requires 10% down. So we're shopping right now for somebody who can do maybe 5% down instead of 10%. So this is what we would do, and we send it out, and what we do is we'll get stuff back from people who said, I'm very familiar with Community Trust, and when I have a T&I scenario, that's where I direct customers, sorry. But we send it out to all of our database of lenders we worked with over the years that still want to get a scenario, and we do that. It just based upon our years of experience and our years of contacts and database, we can simplify this process and search for loan programs for you. So these are where we leverage not only our knowledge of our team, but we leverage knowledge of other people outside that's working in the industry day to day too. So that's kind of what you're looking at that we're doing for you guys. Okay. So that's the loan product specialist for if you ever have a deal that you want to get a second look. The way I look at it is there's a lot of saying, what is it, turn trash into cash, turn your something into gold mine. I mean, there's a bunch of things, but basically it's crap to you, but it might be something, you know what I mean? So just make sure, give it a second look. If it's completely, and you know it's out of the picture and there's no way to do it, don't give it to us. But if there is just a little doubt in your mind that it might be done, get a second look with us. So on here is the graphic designing service. I want to show you guys for the cost. If you want to do a one-off, we will do that weekly flyer for you. We negotiated a pretty good deal with them where they can do it for us pretty cheap on a template. If you ever hired a graphic designer to do something for you, I'm not sure if you ever explored one, somebody who's decent, who's qualified. They charge anywhere from 60 to 120 bucks an hour, and they'll charge you about 2 hours, an hour or two at least. Well, we have somebody who will do it for us, and they do our flyer at very cheap. It's like 35 bucks a week. But if they do like a one-off type of flyer where it's not the same person, they'll give us a discounted rate of 50 bucks an hour, which is still cheaper than the 60. So if you do have one-off type of flyer, even if you do it yourself, we will send out a monthly notice and announcement stating that every advertisement, whether it's publicized or if it's just through email, it needs to be approved by corporate. That's just to protect our butt. And we'll give you a checklist of things that you need to include, like the equal housing opportunity logo, your NMLS, your address, certain things that is required to be included. But if you don't and you want a professional to do it, they can do that for you with the designing service. I'll just show you a few and this is a new graphic designer that we hired. He made a couple for us. Let me show you here. So I tested him out to see how his turn time was. I gave it to him. He turned it around in like less than 24 hours. This is a template. This is not what you guys would have him do. This is kind of what I just want to show you kind of the thing. This is just a one-off. It's going to get better, guys. It's just kind of a draft that we did. This is for our closing costs. And then for this, again, it's just a theme. It'll have, it's going to be generic kind of ERS type of thing. But we do have the 30-day closing. And again, I only have 2. It's going to get better. This is the first draft. We never even give him any feedback. This is what he came up with. It's good enough for where we can design it, right? So if you have a design, we have in-house graphic design. He turns it around pretty quickly. And then if you want to print it out black and white, you know that corporate does offer unlimited black and white printing. For color, just kind of stop by across the street over here on Stockton Nelsie. I think they give you a discount at the corner over here. And so those are the service that we can provide. So on this, I want to bring this back up. What I'll add on here is, in addition to the ERS transaction coordinator, you have the mentorship, the loan product specialist, and the graphic designing service that will help you increase your production. Okay, and this is essentially you pay the in-house, and I think the benefit, and it's the going rate. If you guys ever go, time to search online for loan processor, transaction coordinator, those things, you'll see that everything is reasonably priced compared to those things. But the benefit is that all these people know our internal process in order to comply, and you don't have to train them and spend time telling them what you want. Okay. So I wanted to circle back to here and answer this question. Let me start it here. The question is, where do you find the title and escrow fees? And I just want to pull it up. Where are we at with the approved marketing material? I think we covered that. We just signed that. They're working on it. Jeanette is her name. She's working on those. How do we find fees, schedule for titles, title fee and escrow fee? And let's see here. Are there any plans for Elite Mortgage shirt design, shirt signs, etc.? The shirt signs, we haven't yet. If you guys want to give me some ideas and you get some quotes, I'm sure ERS already have. I know that they have some shirts in that little glass display up front for the real estate side. So I'm sure they have a vendor that can easily do that. But if you have somebody that you prefer, it's always good to compare the pricing. So Lynn, if you want to, kind of just give us some quotes or talk to Robert, I can definitely bring that up. if there's a certain design or something that you want, let me know. Then I can approach him. And let's see, I missed some previous training. It will be on YouTube under Elite Realty Training. Yes, everything up until this point will be edited and posted to YouTube, eventually move back to the back office. Okay, so I covered those. I'm going to cover the title and escrow fee. This title and escrow fee is, it's already built in, guys. You guys have Calyx Point. And Calyx Point, when you log in, if you start Calyx Point and it doesn't go here, user login, you are not connected to Point Central. If you go straight up, you click on it and it opens up, call me. I will get you guys set up correctly. Okay. So once you have the login, it'll log in with Point Data Server. And all of the title fees should be built in there, guys. You don't have to go search anywhere. Just put in your dollar amount, your purchase price, your loan amount, click a button, and there's your fee. And it's as simple as that. But for those that want like the manual, somehow you're disconnected from the internet, you can't connect, you can do the old school way and just pull up a web browser, type in your, we'll just call it, who do you like to use as your title there, Frank? What kind of title company you like?
First American. We'll do First American. So for example, anybody that you want,
if you just don't know, you can just type in title company. So First American Title and escrow fee. And usually they'll have a PDF, an Excel, or something like that. So you click here, here's First American Title rate. You can fill it out here. You can click on all fees, title fees only. So on here we got your California, we're in Sacramento County, and then you got your, we'll just call it Sacramento, closing office state, closing office county, and then purpose of transaction, we'll put purchase, sales with mortgage, sales amount, we'll just call it $350, we'll call loan amount $300, and then file number, that's fine, so you hit next. And it'll just pull out your fees. So this one, most of the title company have this, and you just go online, punch a few numbers. But like I said, if you are, if you're not connected to the server or anything like that, here, yes, you'd like to obtain a quick quote now. Let's see here, let's just come and just put yes. So on here, it'll tell you what is typically for the owner's title insurance, the mortgage title insurance here, and you got your what the buyers pay the seller. Here's all the fees, loan servicing, signing fee, for the notary. So they have all this for them in here in case you want that. And if you look at, let's see here. So these are title, and then this is basically your escrow fee, your sales one loan here. Okay, but I want to show you that all this information will kind of duplicate that. So we'll go to, I'm just going to pull up here, we'll just put new. So when you go here and you put, I did the same thing, sales price $350, they're putting down $50,000 to borrow $300,000. I go to my fee sheet. And if you scroll down to where it said escrow, you click on this button, you can put First American here. We have 3, Orange Coast, Stewart, First American. If you like Fidelity, you like Chicago, you like whatever, let us know. Send us the fee sheet, send it to Green Team at myequityzone.com. We'll enter it in there. Give us some time, there's a lot of fees there. So it'll fill in here, put the title insurance, put this here, and then you also put your title, your owner's title. So you put here. So you get those fees here. So if we look at this, and of course, the website is always going to have their most current rate, but for this purpose, it's close enough. And then you'll see we got $12.65. But this was their fee at one point, and we put it in there. If it's outdated, just let us know. We'll update it there. So here's their altered policy at $487. So we have $487. Their closing fee, we put $12.65. They lowered down to $11.87. Their escrow, they're $10.15, so we got $10.79. So you can see, this is the owner. I'm sorry, owners is $11.87. We have $10.79, and then the escrow we have $12.65. They have $10.15. and then plus this here. So it's similar. At one point this was there, and just send us those files. I mean the updated fees. Okay, so those are in your Calyx point. You don't have to maintain anything. It's just if it's really off, send us the new one and we'll update it. Okay. All right. Let me see if there's one more here. Fidelity. Okay. If you request anything, we ask that you obtain the escrow and title fees, and it's simple. Just call somebody at Fidelity, ask them for the fee sheet or the fee schedule, and then email it to Green Team at My Equity Zone, and they'll send it. And depending on which branch, because if you work with Fidelity, Northern California is different fees than Southern California, and so forth. So make sure whatever branch you want us to add, get their specific fee schedule for me. Okay, anything else that you guys want to talk about? How to access the back office username and password. Riza, you need to contact the person who brought you into ERS. Ask them to send you the link so you can create a username and password. That will add you into the system underneath them, and that's how we track the upline and downline. Make sure that you go back to the person who did bring you to ERS. That goes for everybody else. Whenever you bring somebody, make sure that you sign them up. That way you protect the commission that would be earned from your team building efforts.
A question on with the government shutdown.
Yes.
Is that affecting loans and?
Yes and no. So the question is, the government shut down, and I think we're in day 7 or day 8 or something like that right now for the government shutdown. What it affects is for FHA, we can't get a lot of the case number. We can't run a lot of CAVR. CAVR is where we check, make sure they have any liens or any judgment in order to close the file. We can't verify with the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, to verify the tax transcript. A lot of lenders are allowing us to close the file, conventional, without doing the 4506. Others are requiring that you cannot. So loans are still being closed, guys. It's just some lenders is being delayed. So when you're going to hear kind of yes and no, but for the most part, we have not. Business continue as usual. It goes on as usual, and if there are any type of verification, you just need to check with the lender. If they won't close it, I suggest you do a backup and find one that can, and they will just take it over. Since we got approval, they can streamline it and they'll close the deal for you somewhere else. And it's because of a lot of lenders are losing business because they're just very strict, and their investors strict. They don't want to close it without the verified tax transcript. But that's usually what's holding it up. Verification of employment with state workers and government workers can't be done. I feel really sorry for those government workers. And not every government agency are on furloughs, or they're not. So some have their own funds and they're still going on. So not just because they work for the state, I mean they're not working. So verification of employment has to be verified, and that's where you might run into government workers where you can't close that deal. Okay, so in a nutshell, business goes on. There's always a lender that can close, but yes, you can run into delays. Okay. Can you ask who is on now and the classroom what they would prefer? Shirts, coffees, name tags, signs, what? I want to get a quote for what is most wanted. So why don't we do a poll? I don't know how to do this here. I'm going to try to do it. There's a poll, okay. So we'll manage poll. So it seems like, can you guys elaborate on the sign? What kind of sign? Are you talking about signs that sign writers that goes into real estate? Listing signs? Or are you talking about sidewalk signs? You're talking about billboard signs, something that, poster, banners? I'm not sure what sign. It just range. Could the sign be attached to a car, like a magnet?
Get those approved, don't we?
We do, but I like to see what people want. So banner, poster. Are you talking about maybe like something that hangs onto a trade table where, at trade show you kind of have the sign there? I think all those, we can have it where we do trade and, they can check in and check out for open houses. I think that's what you're talking about, correct, Linda Nova? Or can you elaborate? There you go, trade show, table signs, banner, poster, can sign be attached to a car? I think we would do magnets for that. So you guys got a lot of ideas here. I don't know how I'm going to copy this. Is there a way you can save the log here? Let me see here. I think it just saves it later. I'll save here, save question. Okay, signs and trademark, we need them. Okay, I get the idea, guys. I'm on to get approved for the trade show table.
And then people can check it out. I like pens too, so I think we should get some pens. Just keep in mind when we do the pens, it's just got to be very generic. It's probably going to have the website, or at this point we don't even have a website.
It's just a phone number. If we do the corporate phone number, we can do that. But if you guys want your own pen, we can also get bulk orders on that. Okay. So we're into marketing, and we'll do the back end. Once we have the back end, and you guys can go on there to upload. I think it's more a technical thing now, and just working with Alex. But once it's built, it's going to go fast. You'll have all the forms, everything you need there. Because I know a lot of people keep asking for the same thing. All of the training material that you guys see, we'll post it up there along with the training video, so you can direct your people there, and all the forms I went over. Anything else that you guys want to see? Because again, this will probably be one of the last training for a while, just because if we pull this up here, let me show you here. So as you can tell, we're here at the Module 9. I don't have anything scheduled. So next Tuesday, I'm hoping that I can finalize everything so I can still do this. But don't show up here next Tuesday. And the following Tuesday, I think let's here. So this one here. The following Tuesday, I'm going to that National Association of Mortgage Broker Convention on the 19th, 20th, 21st, and I'll be back on the 22nd. So don't come here. We won't have anything scheduled for the next 2 weeks, unless you guys have something that you want to come up with. So let me know if there's additional training that you want. But this is what I have on the syllabus. And we will have these loan product training. So going forward, what you guys need to look forward to is sign up for the webinar for all loan product training. Okay? This will conclude, for now, for the time being, all of the weekly training classes until I can get this schedule. And until I get this schedule. But there's only 2 foreseeable, one, and this one just hold back until I get the finalized agreement worked out for everybody. So it might happen next week. Just wait for the formal announcement. But I will send a reminder there won't be any training unless you guys want something in particular. It's just I think we have it on video, and it just maybe the next round of recruit, when we kind of start building the team and going out recruiting again, and we get a class of 30 again, then I'll do a whole new cycle on those modules. All right, what do you guys think? Any question? Any feedback? Anything you guys want me to do? Please come on those mastermind meeting, even though we're not doing these mortgage classes. I do encourage you guys to come on that Thursday, 3:30 to 5 o'clock for the mastermind. Please, let's make it crowded. Let's make it a discussion. Currently, right now, we haven't promoted. It's just the owners kind of stopped coming, so I need feedback from the loan officer. They're just busy getting set up on their side, too. Okay? All right. Well, there's more question. Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody's time, and you guys have a good night.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.